I'm Gwen, Preston of Resource Maven. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in January, the start of conference craziness in this city. And I'm joined by Scott Trebilcock of Core Mining. We're spending a lot of time together recently because I was just visiting your projects down in, your project down in California. So let's jump into that. The Imperial project is what I would call sort of the foundational value for Core. It's the most advanced asset. Yep. So let's just quickly take us through the situation at Imperial, and there's some news coming there that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Imperial is a super exciting asset. We bought it at the bottom of the market from Goldcorp, who had put a ton of work into the asset in the past. We've got the benefit of their drilling, their biology, as you saw on site, we've got drilled water wells, we've got a ton of technical information to go forward. And what our plan going forward, very simply, is we brought in a great leader of the project, Mark Leduc. He's the last person to get a project permitted in California. He did that at Castle Mountain, now in Ross Beatty's Equinox. And we said, Mark, come here and do this for us because we've got a project that's ready to go. Yeah. So we're going to do a PEA that should come out in a couple months. Yeah. Follow that right up by starting of the permitting process. We're going to right into permitting this mine because all the past work shows it should be a mine. So it's all about getting through that permitting, kind of dispelling that challenge we always get back about California. Yeah. And I know we talked a lot about that.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, exciting. The PEA should help crystallize for the market what the value is there. But I know the Core team understands that the market doesn't love sitting around a permitting story.
Correct.
No matter how good the asset might be.
That is true.
So the Core team structured a portfolio that has a lot of other things going on. So let's talk about those because I think in terms of catalysts other than the PEA at Imperial, those other exploration programs are going to be really important this year. So why don't you take us through what else Core is up to?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we structured the portfolio, but we also capitalized the company to do both, right? We had Macquarie Bank come in to fund very specific use of funds to fund the permitting of that Imperial project. That's a great value add for shareholders. For sure. But like you said, we want to get this company moving fast. We like the assets we have. So we went and raised money from Mr. Eric Sprott. And he loves exploration. He loves drill holes. He wants to see us grow the resource base. Yeah. So we sat down as a board and exactly like you said, we said, we got to generate excitement, show the market what Core's assets are, because the market hasn't seen these assets in a long time. It's been 30 years since Imperial and our Long Valley asset, also in California, have seen the light of day. It's been 15 years since anyone heard anything about Fraser Gold. So we're taking our capital from Eric. We're out. We've done field programs in Q4 of this past year. We saw the first news release come out on that just about a week ago today on Imperial. And really looking at the exploration potential at Long Valley, at Fraser Gold, and also around the Imperial project, because as you saw when we're down there on site, we got a huge district play around that mine to go explore, and we're really excited about that too.
So let's quickly, just because we have a few moments here, let's talk about Long Valley and Fraser Gold quickly. Long Valley has a resource, looks like it's the top of a preserved system. Exactly. So nobody's ever looked below before.
Correct, you got it. Like,
done.
Thank you. That's the story right there. So Long Valley was drilled. There's quite a significant oxide resource. Unlike Imperial, which is fully oxide, the drill holes there terminate. They don't go through the deposit. They terminate in the sulfides. Right. And the operator Royal Gold back in the day was only interested in oxide. They RC drilled 600 holes into this thin veneer. Right. A lot of those holes terminating in this sulfide. So our team has gone out, used sort of modern geophysics tools. You know, you can follow tracer elements like mercury and antimony to find out where it's most likely you're going to find these feeder systems, you know, that build these at-surface gold deposits. So we're currently looking at the drill pad setup and then permitting drill program to go test some of those sulfides underneath. And we should see the targeting news release, the result, all that prep work coming out in the next couple of weeks here.
And then Fraser Gold is up in British Columbia, has also seen a good amount of work, but sort of by one team that focused on specific areas and didn't really take a step back and think about the potential, try and come up with a structural picture for this.
Yeah, structure is exactly the story. And there's several other stories out there, particularly most notably Great Bear, that is looking at old resources with lots of data and reinterpreting them. It's the same thing we think we have here. There's some really interesting high-grade components that look like they're connected, but because the drilling was mostly RC by a variety of different geologists over a long period of time, no one's ever to put that picture together. And if we can put that picture together, this rock package that hosts the rocks plunges into the ground. It's only ever been drilled at the very surface. So it opens up a whole new look at this story that we think will make it a great project.
And then there's exploration at Imperial, where again was drilled to a particular geologic boundary. New work shows there might be a pretty interesting target right underneath that, let alone all the new ground that you staked. Yeah,
exactly. Imperial is oxidized. There's been a lot of theories. There's a block that was cut off from another deposit and laid here on top of these sand and gravels, because underneath it, they terminate all their drilling so they get to the sand and gravel layer. Our recent geophysics shows this huge anomaly under the whole deposit, extending off both ends, shows some nice, interesting upside even on the current mineralization. So, we got to go out and do some work, and that program, because of this the geophysics were a bit of a surprise of this big anomaly at depth. We got to rethink how we're going to prioritize our drilling to maybe go put some holes in that.
So core on the surface has this, the Imperial makes it seem like it's a permitting story, but it's not a permitting story. There's a permitting process that's creating fundamental value at the Imperial project, which is a really great project, but there's a lot of other things on the go.
We're very, very busily internally trying to demonstrate those assets, and I was just sort of thinking as you were talking there, it's core, more than just permitting.
There we go. I think that's how we'll finish it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thanks.